Alright, you beautiful motherfuckers, at the end of the video, I have a announcement to make, so wait till you see the end. Also, like and subscribe because YouTube is like literally pushing me to say that in every video. Sonic right now is in a war with the movie Mufasa. Basically, it's like a Lion King prequel type deal. And the one thing that I have to say to that is, one, Sega shouldn't take this as a sign that Sonic is getting more or less popular, because one, either people are going to protest vote against Disney and watch Sonic in protest to that movie, or two, people are going to be watching Disney over that movie because people like Disney more. We shouldn't ever take anything that happens with this specific movie and actually take it as gospel or take it as a projection for the next box office. Here's the weird thing about the fucking modern day Disney, is that they're trying to do rainbow capitalism in a bad way. Basically, what is rainbow capitalism? It's basically wokeness, but from a more progressive perspective. Rainbow capitalism is the idea that they're just trying to use minority groups for money. That's it. But like, when you use minority groups for money, one, you have to make it non-cynical so that leftists watch your movie, and two, you have to make it good enough to where right-wingers watch your movie, and one, either ignore the obviously gay moments, or two, they say that the gay moments don't actually exist. That's the moral and the message of the story. Because if I put Sonic's environmentalism message in the movies, right? If you do it wrongly, well then everybody's calling the movie woke and saying that environmentalism is the issue and the problem with the franchise. People think Sonic is cool, but they don't know very much else about Sonic. Basically, the point here is that Amy being introduced in the modern Sonic series, especially in these movies, with no drastic changes, is probably the best thing you should do. Amy's original vision was to be a person who was energetic and loving enough to chase Sonic down and catch up with him. That was the original idea, and that's what everybody in the general public knows about Amy. People who try to change Amy have been struck with derision and a whole bunch of other shit, and I think that's where most of the anti-wokeness stuff comes from, because they don't know the either the reason or that they have mandates to make relationships less prominent.
Well, this is going to be interesting. Are you and or Sega trying to hide Amy's affection for Sonic? I've seen people show concern at how aggressively it seems to be suppressed, to the point it feels like it's trying to be made out to be a secret, which people aren't keen on.
For my part, I just want it to not be her singular motivation, her singular personality trait, but it is part of who she is. So I feel like it should be acknowledged. But Sega is in general trying to skew away from open relationshipy stuff right now. I don't know if I'd call it suppressed, kind of a harsh word, but it's not the focal point right now.
All right.
So basically, if you introduce modern Amy and right-wing figures get a hold of this information, you're going to have Sega in between a rock and a hard place with Sonic Movie 4, and wokeness is going to be the main center stage of the entire brand for until that movie comes out. And if it's very good, they'll drop it, but if it's very bad, they won't drop it at all, and they'll keep it the same forever for all time, basically. And that will suck, because people have been liking the new direction they've been taking Amy in, which is just girl, but like, yeah, I don't know what makes Amy unique anymore. But like, being honest, we would have to make Amy an obsessive stalker loser bitch. That's basically what you would have to do in order to make Amy come into the movies without people latching on to it. So I think Amy just shouldn't be in these movies. Well, that's Amy, but when you have Rouge, right? Rouge's ability is basically to awaken furries. That's the moral of the story. Her appeal back in the day was that she was awakening 13-year-old boys into becoming very, very lusty furries and shit, which was why they decided to make her less sexually appealing over the years ever since the day she was introduced. That's basically the moral of the story, because having a big titty bitch is great, but like when you're a kid's franchise, nobody should be having a sexual awakening from your franchise on their own. But due to the simple fact of, hey, people know Rouge as this sly talking sexy motherfucker out there, and Sega has built that perception through her first appearance, people out there who know about this and are the modern audience will be really, really, really likely to latch on to the fact that they are changing Rouge and making her less sexually appealing in order to make it to the point, hey, this is getting way too woke, right? And as much as you say, hey, kids are watching these movies, most of those people will go like, you fucking pedophile. You think that, like, having boys look at big titty bitches is bad? You think that big titty bitches shouldn't be in the movies because it'll do something to children? And you'll be like, yeah, and everybody else will be like, you're just a pro-censorship retard. So we can't have Rouge in these movies either. So with two of the most popular Sonic characters in the entire franchise basically having to be wokeified by the terms of the modern audience because they don't know anything about Sonic and they've just been introduced to the world of Sonic without being introduced to the nuances and the management decisions of Sonic. Now, there could be a case that Sega will actually just reverse all these changes, which I'm actually in favor of. These changes don't actually matter and they don't do anything for the characters, except for Rouge's tits. I don't like the idea of 13-year-old boys having sexual awakenings due to furry shit. Okay, it's just always weird. But with those two characters basically being off the table until Sega gets its shit together, what characters do we have? We have fucking Cream the Rabbit, which is a easy W once we get to the second trilogy and Sonic grows up into the main character that he's supposed to be. And then we have Blaze the Cat, which Blaze the Cat has the most story potential of a movie that would be coming in between 4 and 5 and stuff like that, because having Sonic go to a different dimension for a while and having Jim Carrey's Robotnik basically take over the world would be fucking amazing. Basically, Sonic has to get the Soul Emeralds and he can't use them by himself, so Blaze would have to send him back to his own timeline. I mean, not his own timeline, but his own dimension. That would be the greatest shit of all time, and that would give Robotnik enough time to literally take over the world in a way that we can see, and that would lead into like maybe a Sonic Forces movie. Do you see how the modern audiences ruin the movies? The modern audiences are basically the kinds of people who don't want anything to change or be new. They want everything to be the same as how they liked it when they were kids. When the series that were happening since they were kids are so radically different in franchise standards that it feels like a completely different series. Like, even characters like Trip the Sun Gazer aren't going to be in these movies because Sega wants only classic characters in there and stuff. By the way, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be very real with you. They should introduce those classic characters into the modern context so that Sega is forced to put those characters in modern games and not forced to say, oh, these characters maybe died between the time Sonic became modern. Like, what's going on with Mighty and Ray? I want to see modern Mighty and Ray. Is it just me? But anyway, I will see you guys later, and for all my subscribers and shit, there's like one thing I gotta tell you. So basically, the videos, they're going to be a little bit more spread out. They're going to be between 1 to 2 days longer before a new video comes out than it is right now. And that's specifically because I have a job, okay? If I was making money off of YouTube, you would be seeing a video every 2 days. But, like, I have a job, and that means that I would have to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning in order to get a video out before 9. Yeah, but that's the announcement. That's pretty much all I have to say. The videos are going to be coming out a little bit less frequently. It's going to be like every 2 to 3 days instead of just 1 to 2 days, which, you know, kind of sucks, but I got to do what I got to do to wake up in the morning. And also, like and subscribe, okay? Get me to that 500 milestone. I'm going to be so fucking happy once we reach that shit. Remember, life is like a prostitute, because this shit sucks.
Put your nose up in these britches. We'll see a deep throat, 0.5 inches. Yeah. Suck my dick. I stuck my fingers in. You were high on heroin. Are you now remembering? Suck my dick. Suck my dick.